Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Bossfish Network. I'm your host, and that's excited interview. Joining me is the one, the only Bossman himself, Mr. Curry Derrick. Hello, good sir.
Hello, Edward. It is good to be here on this Saturday evening, as I am totally awake and have lots of energy to do everything I want to do right now.
Yes, everybody. This is the first episode of Pow Block in May.
Oh yeah, it is May, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Gross.
Tomorrow is May the 4th. Not the day that we're recording, but Sunday is May the 4th. So get ready for all the Star Wars jokes to be coming out. Just the update, everybody. I will not be here next week for Pow Block because I will be at PAX East, covering the show with.
Yep, Ed's leaving me.
With the Bossfish team. So Corey will have a guest, and talking about all things Nintendo, and having fun. I'm super excited.
Josh, I'm calling you in. Since you'll be the only one here.
Yeah, so do check that out, everybody. But yeah, tune into Boss Rush this week. We're going to be having articles. We're going to be doing a lot of coverage of PAX. I have a lot of interviews set up, a lot of demo stations for it, and be meeting a lot of friends. Nelly should be there. Adam from his podcast should be there. I think Danny G should be there. Grayson's going to be there. So a lot of people that we know and support will be there at the show, and I'm super excited. And even probably some new people that we're going to meet. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm sad I'm not going, but I mean, work takes priority for now.
Yes.
It's upsetting, but I guess you got to do what you got to do, huh?
Mm-hmm. Hopefully, me and you can make it to PAX West, and we could do it again and hang out and record and vibe.
Speaking of, Ed.
Yes.
So the how we've been talking about you coming out here later in the year.
Yes.
You know what episode is around the time you might come out? Episode 450.
Yes.
Not a major milestone, but a mile, like a nice round number. Right?
Doing it live that Saturday night. Yes.
Maybe if I can we'll see if we're doing it live. I mean, we'll be doing it live anyway, probably. I'll figure it out by then. But
in person together.
Yeah.
I should say.
Yeah, it should be fun. Yeah, man. I'm excited to go like retro game shopping.
I am too, dude. I really am. So once we get the date set, it's off to the train station I go.
Yep.
It did. Will Corey surprise me again this time? Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I'll surprise him by leaving him there.
No, don't do that.
No friends.
I'd be like, Corey?
No.
Hello?
Shut up. You're fired.
No! So yeah, everybody.
My co-host needed ads out this week. It'll actually go up front of the show, actually. The front of this episode.
So it's going to be like co-host apps.
Yep.
And then the theme song, and then the show.
Yep. No, it'll just be the theme song and then the ad, and that's it. There's no show this week, actually.
No. We have to do a show because there's a lot of crazy news that came this week. And some of it's Nintendo, some of it is other things. Boy.
We'll get to it at some point, but like, man, it's tough out there for websites and major owned content creators, if you want to call them that. Like it's tough
Mm-hmm.
out there, man. It's You're gonna have much more successful doing this on your own, I think, at some point. If you are if you have an audience already, right, and leave an outlet,
Yes.
right, like Destin Legary did earlier this year, right? He left IGN to do it on his own.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to preface it that you're going to have much more success doing it on your own than working for one of these major outlets at this point. I mean, even like 60% of IGN is contract work and freelance at this point. So, uh,
Yeah.
I think the only one that's like put together with like a quote unquote real staff and like real people is Game Informer, ironically, which obviously got shut down last year and brought back. But
Yeah.
uh, I kind of view Game Informer as like I, that they just feel so different from everybody else at this point, which
Mm-hmm.
is probably is to their benefit, right? But we can talk about that when we get there.
Well, it was shout out to Josh and shout out to Nick. Hello, good sir. Yes.
Nick is in the Twitch chat.
Yes, everybody, please go check out WASD and Beyond. Their podcast drops every Friday, and they have their YouTube versions of their podcast also. So go check them out on YouTube and everything. Uh, yes, they are also doing some new things over there, podcast
I
wise.
have
So
I
you
have
give it a
I
listen.
have a I have a pickle. I have something to what do you call it when you have I have a thing to say to Nick and Brody. Look, as two people with Josh in the chat, a gripe. Yes, yes, Nick, I have a gripe. Thank you. Thank you for helping me out, even though I'm about to. As two people with Josh in the chat who run a Destiny podcast, a pretty popular one, and didn't get Marathon Alpha codes, these two have a Marathon Alpha episode coming out soon.
Oh,
Yes.
they have it out.
I'm aware.
Oh,
I'm aware. I'm gonna.
so
No, I'm just
and
kidding.
Nick, I can't help it. I gotta make sure that I plug your podcast, because
No more
I love
plugs.
it. What?
No,
Every time.
their plugs are suspended.
uh,
uh,
so, but yeah, I'm just
Boycott.
like, yeah,
No,
but just
we should probably actually just have you on, like a side episode of Tower Casuals talk about the Marathon Alpha because that we didn't get in. Ed fired, Josh hired.
no. uh,
Josh, we're starting Nintendo Casuals. I'm dumping this joint.
no, you're not.
I know.
Then I'll be like, Austin, are you free? Is anyone free? Want to talk about Nintendo stuff?
Ugh,
Yes.
yeah.
So yeah.
I'm not gonna lie though. I am kind of shocked at how closed the alpha was. I'm not like complaining that we didn't get a code. I'm just saying like I'm shocked that they didn't open it up like the last weekend of the alpha a little bit more.
Can I ask you, Corey, how has the response been? Nick, I didn't listen to this week's episode because I was doing some other things. I've been getting ready for PAX. But I wonder from your perspective, Corey.
It seems pretty mixed. It seems pretty mixed, honestly, the reception. Not in terms of like how it feels to play, but in terms of it just being an extraction shooter and how kind of niche that genre is in a way anyway. And I think people were hoping that Bungie would find a way to make it more accessible to people, but it is pretty hardcore, it seems, in terms of I mean, there are things that they do differently than something like Tarkov, where like they tell you how much things are worth when you're going
Hmm.
through, uh your loot to see if you should take it or not, if it's worth taking or not. But and there's probably a couple other things that if I could play it, I could tell you. But I think the reception has been mixed because just on the sheer fact that it's an extraction shooter and that genre is not for everybody. So
Okay.
I, again, I'm still looking forward to it. I will probably, assuming that it's in like the $40 range, I will probably get it. I mean, I'll probably get it anyway, but because I want to see how it plays and see how it feels, and if uh, I don't know, man. Yeah, I have a lot of wonder about that game. It's a fascinating title to keep an eye on, I think, for sure. Um, but yeah, I know a lot of marathon diehards are gonna. Yeah, Nick just said I'll still buy it day one collector's edition.
Hmm.
Honestly, I will probably, because I buy every Bungie collector's edition at some point. Uh, Maybe I will probably end up buying that, at least that first collector's edition, just because I think aesthetically it looks cool, and like uh, you know I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how people receive like I'm sure they'll run like an open beta closer to launch at some point.
Yeah. I know for me it's a pass. I think it's going to probably be a game to watch. People play, and I think I don't
Well,
even
Ed,
want to
you're
watch.
such a hardcore PvP shooter
But
player. We know.
but I but I think I want to watch people play the console version and not the PC version because I just feel like people are just going to cheat heavily on the PC version, and
They've
I'm just
got they've got things in place to keep that from happening.
do
So
they keep do they improve it a lot over time too, or they
yeah,
got
yeah. Well, they've got dedicated servers for Marathon, and they've got uh, a bunch of different. They've got ways to prevent cheating on PC this time around, unlike Destiny. So you know,
hmm, okay.
also it being Josh makes a good point. It being paid will help to fend off cheaters because it'll be $40 or $50 every time, right?
Hmm.
You want to cheat, so
Oh, like if they wait, it's like if they get banned, they
yeah,
have
if
to
they get
buy the
banned,
game again.
they'll have to create a new account of some sort and buy it again. So
Oh wow, that's interesting.
hmm
So
yeah,
yeah, you want to like that's an expression pass to have. Like, would you pay um a, a just amount at the amount of of a new game just to cheat and get banned? You know,
hmm
like like a different version of double dipping. Like this is like always dip. Excuse me,
yep,
because you have to start all the way from the beginning if you uh if you did all of that work to have like the highest level of stuff and you got caught cheating. So now you got to do all of that over again.
hmm this ain't no Dr. Lupo chess situation. People who pay attention on the internet will know.
Okay. Hardware and IP ban. Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah. Well,
for those unaware, Dr. Lupo is a pretty popular streamer, and he cheated in a chess tournament this weekend, or last week apparently. So
oh, and got banned.
well, uh, he got caught cheating, so he got banned from
Ooh.
the tournament. He said he stepped away from the tournament, but we all know what that means. So not that I'm trying to dunk on Dr. Lupo, but that it happened. So
Yeah. we'll just see. Still no release date yet for Marathon, I
Yeah,
believe.
September 26th.
Oh,
They announced it
okay.
like a couple weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago. Okay, I must have missed it.
You know
Um,
what release date moved though, Ed?
Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah,
And
cool. Don't care.
everybody was just like, when am I going to play? When am I going to
What are
play?
you
I
gonna
was like,
play?
there's a
What do you
whole new
mean?
system comes out.
What do
System
you
coming out.
mean? What are you gonna play? There's new games. There's literally like 14 games out today on a
Shoot,
Saturday.
our fall and winter is already packed.
It every day is packed.
Shoot, because I still need to get my PS5 Pro so I can get Ghost of Yotai. I'm super excited for that game. Getting some of the back catalog stuff for that game.
Josh said, "Who's ready for the planning meeting for a Horizon game to release the same day as GTA?"
Oh wow!
Oh, that was a good one.
No, Nintendo would do something in that.
Yeah,
So
maybe if Horizon will release it, if it did come out in 26 is Dusk Bloods, right? Like that's the From Software game coming to Switch too. That'd be funny. Or like
Bloodborne 2.
Yeah.
I think the only game that could rival GTA 6 is probably Half-Life 3.
Man, I don't know. I don't know how many people really care about Half-Life 3 anymore, man, except for like the people who love Half-Life. You know, I think it would be it'd be a huge talking point for the industry, but man, like, and I know it was a VR title, but I don't know.
I mean, I'm not being shady because I think there has been games that
I'm glad there's no Nintendo news this week, guys. We're talking about fake games in Half-Life 3.
But I think like when we have a high profile game, we always, like what game could rival it?
Nobody cares. Play what you want to play. Who cares? Who
But
cares? Just sell enough
I mean,
copies so people don't close down the studio.
But I mean, because that's what people kind of had with like Spider-Man 2 and Mario Wonder and everything. They were just like, "Oh, who's gonna come out? Who's gonna be?" And it's just like it's gonna be two great.
Yeah, you know who lost? Sonic.
Because it came out a way earlier.
It came out 3 days before Mario Wonder.
I think like Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing did terrific because everybody was just like, oh, the fan art of putting those two together was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just something to think about.
I'm thinking about Switch 2 in 33 days. That's what I'm thinking about.
Oh, yes. Well, Corey, how about
I'm going to tell you all how Night City runs on the Switch 2 on June 5th.
Oh, Cyberpunk?
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's going to be looking for the reviews and everything. I think that's what everybody's going to be waiting for, the reviews of Switch
Ed,
2.
Speaking of Switch 2.
Yes.
I'm in a pickle, okay? I still have some money left over from, getting rid of some stuff so I could pay for the Switch 2 and some extra accessories.
Yes.
I've gotten the Pro Controller, gotten the camera, got the memory card, got the Switch 2 bundle, right? I'm wondering if I should just keep going with Switch 2 stuff or if I should I don't know, man. I'm still wanting to get back some of the GameCube games that I lost. I'm looking at Fire Emblem, man, and Skies of Arcadia.
I would say hold on to it.
Hold on to what?
The little coin, your extra coin. Yes.
No.
I'll say hold on to it. In case because the Summer Direct, or Nintendo does a Summer Direct or Nintendo Direct.
No, but that's so boring.
I know, but I'm like, I know, but I'm like, there could be some gems dropping additionally for Switch 2.
Yeah, like Drag X Drive.
I mean, yeah. Or
I hope you can use the camera with that game.
probably. That'd be interesting. Uh, and everything.
Just
Uh,
just the reaction, like your face on the back of your character.
uh, no, but I think like if something comes like the Halo collection or the Gears collection or Hi-Fi Rush or Forza or Sega does something like crazy as ever and drop some heat on it. I think being prepared for at least the fall would be good for you. You know, for Switch 2. That
Yeah.
way, in case if, what if there is a, launch game that you wanted, but now it's on a good discount. Then you could go ahead and get it with the extra coin
A
or
discount
uh,
on Switch?
for games.
Where? Who? When? What Nintendo game goes on sale?
I'm saying not Nintendo. I'm saying a launch game.
I know. I'm ornery tonight, Ed. I'm I don't know. Trying to get a boost.
But I'm just like there may be something coming on later in the year and having money put to the side for it and everything.
Honestly, I think I might get the Zelda amiibo.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pre-order those yet, and I have them all except for those ones. So
Okay. Well, everybody, we'll get to this housekeeping. This is Nintendo Pow Block, the Nintendo podcast for Boss Rush Media and the Boss Rush Network. We record each and every episode live on Twitch, YouTube, X, Twitter, every Saturday night. So come hang out, be a part of the conversation in the live chat, and give us a follow while you're there. If you'd like to support Boss Rush, you can check out our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Boss Rush Network, where you can gain early and exclusive access to content like the Nintendo Pow Block 1-Up Patreon show and Expression Bass. Become a Patreon producer and more. As always, if you can't support us financially or join us live, your listenership and viewership is enough for us. Subscribe to Boss Rush on YouTube and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, consider leaving us a 5-star rating and a review or a comment. It will help with discoverability and growth. New episodes post every Monday morning on podcast apps, YouTube, and our website on bossrush.net, where you can also find our daily banters, reviews, listicles, and more.
yeah.
So, and if you guys have any corrections or comments, please send it in. Let us know if we got something wrong. It's probably gonna be me, everybody. I'm probably gonna have all the corrections y'all gonna correct me about in a comment about my hot takes and stuff. So send them in. Let us know.
Yes, let us know Ed's hottest takes.
Yes.
My favorite hot takes from Ed is when he announces it's a hot take and it's a totally normal take. That's my favorite hot take from Ed. Is when it's just a totally normal take and he announces it's a hot take.
Well, it's a hot take because it comes from me. Everybody knows that. I
Not
may
a hot
say,
take if it's normal.
but a lot of my takes are wacky. So
we know. That's what you're known for.
They're normal. Well, everybody.
I gotta tell you, man.
Right.
I don't know what I would do without caffeine. I seriously don't know what I would do without caffeine. I would probably be dead somewhere.
No, you'd be alive. Just probably sleepy.
Yeah.
So, well, everybody, it's time for Nintendo. And Corey, I'm going to go first with this Nintendo. Because and I appreciate everybody. I talked about having chilies. I had some baby back ribs, which was so good. We got to talking about broccoli and some sides. Had some really good broccoli from them. and everything. And they forgot my mashed potatoes, but it was a really good meal. Just having their baby back ribs from Chili's. Had my cornerstone pizza, pub pizza, the three meats, the pepperoni, sausage, and bacon. So good. I still got some left. Um, ate like some pieces of it. Fell asleep on the couch because I couldn't make it upstairs. I was super tired. Everybody had the honey chipotle chicken this week, and the day of this recording, I had some salmon sashimi at my favorite sushi place. Just really really good. Kept it really basic and everything. Yeah, and that's pretty much all that I had this week. So while in Boston, I'm excited to have the food down there. And when I come back from it, I'll talk about all the snacks that I had. So yeah, that's what my snack tender was. Corey, what is yours? What you been snacking on?
So I've been I mean, not much. I've had this weird obsession with making like different types of quesadillas when I get home from work recently.
Oh yes.
Um, well, first of all, I ate a lot of different things this week because I worked from home half the week.
Oh.
I don't know if I told you. Oh, I told you about my car, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So my
Hold on. Me and Corey just had a talk about the car. there's a there's a something that we discussed that made me fall out. I won't bring it here, but it was
oh,
funny.
I mean, you can tell the story if you want. I don't care.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna tell it. I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, come on, funny.
No,
Do it.
because I
Do it.
no, because I fell out laughing.
Mm.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Who cares?
Okay. Continue, Corey, when I get the message.
Uh, anyways, my car, the transmission fluid line rusted out, and I lost a whole bunch of transmission fluid. And I thought my transmission died. I was gonna cry a little bit, but it did not. So, boy, that was a little bit scary. But it did not. So I just had to replace the line, and I had to replace another line and the transmission fluid. And that was a bunch of money I wasn't planning on spending, but it was less than a transmission and a new car, so it's good for me.
Okay.
But I started like making a lot of things into quesadillas, like eggs and cheese, and I mean chicken and cheese, and weird combinations of things. And it was, I don't know. I felt, I don't know why. Even this morning, I had two breakfast quesadillas. So, and the thing is like my wife bought this spicy like sauce. I don't know what it is really. It looks like a spicy mayonnaise, but I don't think it's mayonnaise. But anyways, I put a little bit of those on the tortillas and like, put the cheese on top, and then everything just to add a little bit of a spicy kick to it. So it's good. So,
Okay. You ready?
And then
Corey?
I had pizza today for us.
Yes.
Bacon and jalapeno pizza.
Ooh.
Delightful. Spicy, but delightful.
So everybody, this is Corey. This happened Wednesday. So Corey said, send me a thing called Press C to chat. He said, I try LOL. And I said, awesome. Because I responded back late that Wednesday morning. I said, awesome. He gives me a smiley face of with the smiley face showing all of his teeth. I said, well, good morning. About to head out to Best Buy to get a microphone. There was a whole situation with my microphone, everybody, for my recorder that I'm taking to PAX. And you put bro, then the capital letters. Bro, my car's at the shop. I said, "What happened? Leaking oil and fluid. Ah, it must be time for the new car." Now, everybody, this is me picturing how Corey is saying this. Because he's saying in a suburban way. I'm thinking he's saying in a different way. The line is, "Not in this economy," which made me fall out. Fell out. The line's been need replaced, which isn't cheap, but it's better than paying for a new car. And this is my response. Because he just said not in this economy before he posted the other part. I typed out, "LOL, that is the blackest thing you said in a while." It did. Uh, do, do I say what you
Yeah,
responded with?
it's
He, he put a gift that says, "I heart being black." I just, I feel like I just fell out. LOL, LOL. And then he put Keenan Thompson from Saturday Night Live as a host, just like, and then it just says, "I can't." And then Corey gives me the, and when I tell y'all, I fell out laughing. I was almost on the floor, rolling in tears. And I was just like, "This is why you are my bro him. This is why I love you. This is why you are my bestie for the rest of my whole life." Man, it was super funny and unexpected. It just started with that "not in this economy," and I was just like, I could just hear Corey saying it in a certain tone, and that made me laugh. Please, everybody, don't be writing in and saying stuff. It's a exchange between me and Corey
what would
that
they
was
be
just super
saying?
funny.
I mean, I, I don't know. Whatever, it's fine.
And the bad thing about it, everybody, or the good thing about it is, you use like the "I love I heart being black" is like in this Barbie font from the like 2000s, like, and everything, and it's just super funny. I'm
This
just like,
bright rainbow colored kind of thing going on.
I was just like, Corey gets me. He gets me and everything. So, oh, that thing was just so funny. I was in tears. I was just wanting to call you to be like, "Dude, I'm literally in tears," and everything. Uh,
It was kind of funny. It made me laugh.
so, anything else, Corey, that you snacked on?
Uh, just these M and M's to try to keep my
Energy up.
brain, going.
Okay. So everybody, I had ordered a microphone from Best Buy. They were supposed to send a DoorDash person to send it to me. They didn't. I had to reorder one and go all the way up out to Schaumburg, Illinois to get it. So I went to Schaumburg. I picked it up. Went and got some sushi rolls. And then came back and everything. So that before all of that happened and everything, I had told Corey that I had to go up there and go get it, and then that's when we had that text exchange, and it was just super funny. So, well, Corey, how about we talk about what we've been playing and play with power? Mine's is simple. I've been playing still Yakuza Kiwami 2. I'm on chapter 10. I think I got like 3 more chapters, and then I'll be done with the game. Um, and what about you? I mean, that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, I haven't been playing much, honestly. I'm in this weird holding pattern where, like, I know Switch 2 is coming, and I just don't want to play any Switch games until Switch 2 comes out. Uh, but sorry, I got M&M stuck to the top of the roof of my mouth. I expected you to keep going. So stick with me here. My kids wanted to play games today.
Mm-hmm.
So my son is playing Yoshi's Crafted World still. And so we've been playing that quite a bit. We are, I don't know how far we are, but there's this point after you get through so many levels, there's like a fork in where you can go, like in terms of the world, like the overworld map,
Mm.
where you can either go right or down in the overworld. And so we went down, and like we went through like where we just went through some sort of carnival level, some paper carnival level. And my son like really loves that game. He's like he's really into it. And I like playing with him,
Mm.
except like when I'm trying to like do something like get one of the flowers in each stage or like the red coins or whatever.
Yeah.
He just keeps running to the right, like with no inkling of stopping. And I'm like, Miles, stop. He's like, what? He's like, we gotta go this way. Like, stop. I'm trying to get something over here. He's like, okay. And then he'll stop, but he'll like stop in like the weirdest spots to where like he falls off the level.
Oh no.
Because I have mellow mode on because, he's 4. So like he just kind of
Right.
flies around. And instead of holding the button down to fly while he waits for me, he'll just like let go and stop moving and he'll die and be like, I'm in the egg again. And so like I have to go get him.
Yeah.
But we've been playing that a lot, and he's having a blast, and I'm having fun because he gets it. Like when I play games with Riley, she like doesn't get it. Like she's trying, but she just
Mm.
it's not clicking with her. Like using the thumbsticks to move, even like she doesn't really understand that either. Still, um, so like the only games she really likes to play are like Mario Kart and Mario Party, and we played a bunch of that today. But here's the kicker, Ed. And so let me back up a little bit. We After all that, they wanted to play Arms. My
Oh.
Because my nephews really like Arms a lot,
Yeah.
and I didn't. I had the joy. A lot of my Joy Cons aren't charged because who uses Joy Cons?
Right.
uh, but I have to keep them charged now. But so 2 of them were charged. So I'm like, why don't we do this instead? We played like 3 hours of 1-2 Switch today.
Oh wow.
It's like the first time I've played 1-2 Switch since launch day. uh, but here's what I want to say. Regardless of how much we make fun of it and like how kind of dumb it is and whatever, my kids and my nephews think 1-2 Switch is one of the best games they've ever played. Right. And I'm
Oh.
like, this like watching them play it today and laughing and rolling around on the floor, like because the samurai training game where you have to like catch the sword uh and swing the sword and catch the sword, or like milking the cows, or picking up the ringing phone, or the boxing
Mm.
game, or the wizard game. Like, man, watching them laugh and like literally rolling on the floor laughing is like, man, this is why this game exists. Like this, watching the kids like literally not even like doing the stuff right half the time, like thinking it's the funniest thing. And I don't know, man. It was fun to watch them play it. I still don't care about the game, but like I care about how they feel when they play the game.
Yeah.
You know, it was just really fun. It was it, and I think a lot of people, especially people who are like really deep into this, looking at the games that we play and cover, and the hardcore quote unquote, miss things like this, right? And make fun of it because it's not for them, or it's stupid to them, or whatever. But
Mm.
like, this, it comes back to the conversation, which we're not going to have right now, but like, not every game's for you. Not every game is meant for you to like love, right? Um, and it's just really fun to watch them play stuff like this, you know.
Yes.
So it was really fun to watch them. My son loved the cowboy quick draw game. So
Oh, nice.
yeah. Uh let's see here. I'm Do we think this account is real?
Nintendo saying hi. Nah.
I don't I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not. But if it is Nintendo, hello Nintendo. Welcome to
Hello,
the
Ninty.
anyways. But that's all I've been playing.
Any pickups or anything, Corey? I don't have any this week. I probably won't have anything till the next episode when I come back. So I'll show everybody what I got at PAX, gaming wise. But I don't have anything new, um, just yet.
Yeah, I got a few things this week, so I'm trying to like collect games in my like recollect physical copies of games. Obviously, I've older games, specifically like GameCube, N64 era, some Wii games. But I did, what I got this weekend? Got I got Cadence of Hyrule because it was the
Nice.
only Zelda game I was missing on Switch. Um, I have it digitally, but I ended up getting it physically. I ended up getting Spirit Tracks complete in box in like mint condition
Oh, nice.
for like $45, which is a
Oh, that's
steal at this point.
yeah.
Uh by the way, this Nintendo account that commented hi is not the real Nintendo account. Shocking. I know, shocking. As popular as we are, Nintendo should be hanging out with us on every episode. Uh, but what else did I get? I got something else too. I got I ended up getting the Wii U version of Hyrule Warriors just because I didn't have it. I thought I did, but I didn't. I'm aiming to collect all the Zelda games physically
Mhm.
again. Well, not again, but you know what I mean. So that's what I picked up this weekend.
All right.
I've decided to aim at specific franchises
Yes.
because my brain doesn't work correctly.
Well, Corey, you know what time it is.
No, I don't know what time it is, Ed. What time is it?
It's time for Family News. Take it away, because we have a lot to cover.
Yeah, we do have a lot to cover, Ed. Where did my hold on, let me find the doc. I had it open. I lost it. Hold on. Hold on. It is time for Family News. So, Ed, let's kick this episode off on a bright note because we're going to talk about some unbright notes later. But we're gonna kick it off with a couple weeks ago, they kind of hinted at certain games would be getting free updates on the Switch 2,
Mhm.
visually, and so they have finally confirmed that 12 first party games will be getting Switch 2 upgrades for free. To me, this just tells me that the games will run better and probably have some sort of 4K patch or upscale for free, or 60 frames a second mode if it doesn't have one already, things like that. The first party games that will receive free Switch 2 upgrades are ARMS, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, which I'm going to tell you, to me, that tells me that I know a lot of people had issues with like stutter when you would come out of caves or caverns or
Mhm.
houses or whatever while the world was kind of like loading around you. With that, also Echoes of Wisdom, because it was on the same engine.
Yeah.
So those two will probably be getting a pretty steady frame rate and probably some lighting refreshes or something along those
Probably
lines.
did, probably cutting down on the load and stuff.
Yeah. Game Builder Garage, which is the kind of game development tool that Nintendo put out to, for kids who are interested in developing games. It's kind of like baby's first game developer. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which is probably the one that needs it the most on this list, and Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain. So, these game updates aim to enhance performance and may introduce new features like the game share support, which was introduced in an update, which we'll talk about soon. Players can access these upgrades by connecting their Switch 2 consoles to the internet, and this initiative ensures that fans can enjoy improved versions of their favorite games without additional cost. So this is from Nintendo World Report. When I found this, so I think it's a good move to, I know certain games are getting updates, massive updates, like Zelda's getting a massive update, right? So those games will be paid. Kirby's getting an expansion, so that's going to be paid. Mario Party Jamboree's getting extra modes and mini games and maps boards, so that's going to be paid. But like things that aren't getting additions like these and they'll be free, that's a good move, I think.
Yeah.
I know people really want all their upgrades for free, but
this is
not
going
to get that. Sorry, guys. Not going to get that.
Like you said, not in this economy.
Is that going to just be is that going to be like a joke now on the show?
Yes.
By the way, you can all stop yelling at Nintendo for selling $80 games now because everybody else is going up in price. We're not going to talk about that here, but I'm shocked Microsoft is raising the price on the Series X here, at least. I'm kind of shocked. Just for the simple fact that they aren't selling consoles
right
at a pace that PlayStation is, right? So
right.
You would think you would try to eat that cost to try to get consoles out there, but anyways, what do you think about the free upgrades, Ed?
I think we knew some of these when they posted them on their website. I think I agree with you. I think this is cool. That a lot of games, like these 12 games, that they're getting free updates to help the performance. Give it some quality of life. ARMS haven't probably got like a quality of life since it's kind of like released. I mean, it got some updates, but it haven't been like, kind of like a new update and everything ever since it released. A lot of people talked about the Zelda games like really needing it. But Link's Awakening, Echoes of Wisdom, I wasn't bothered by any of the technical performances from it. So Pokemon Scarlet and Violet does need it. I know that's probably the main one out of all of these that need it. Super Mario Odyssey, it's just it was perfect when it came out. Same with Treasure Tractor and 3D World and Bowser Fury. 51 Worldwide Classics. I think that's cool that they're getting it. It really doesn't need it to or anything, nor Brother Mario Brothers U Deluxe. But yeah, I think Scarlet and Violet and really is the only one that really, really needs it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say about that. I just kind of expect things to run better on this machine just because it's, how much more powerful it is than the
and we'll see the performance in the loading time comparisons. Like we'll be looking at Digital Foundry for that. So and maybe in IGN too, because they do sometimes do tech reviews and everything like that also.
Yeah. All right. The next thing we're going to talk about here, Ubisoft looks to be bringing more games to Nintendo Switch 2 aside from Star Wars Outlaws, Ubisoft appears to be signaling robust support for Nintendo's upcoming Switch 2. The company has reportedly planned more than half a dozen titles for the platform, including the confirmed release date of Star Wars Outlaws on September 4th. Additionally, a Peggy rating suggests that Assassin's Creed Shadows is also slated for Switch 2 sometime in the near future. Ubisoft public declaration of being, quote, in love with the hardware uh, seems to show their commitment to the console. Also, Ubisoft Brazil via Twitter has released a some sort of graphic showing Assassin's Creed Shadows, Star Wars Outlaws, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and Rainbow Six Siege. So let's see. I'm trying to see what this said because it was in Spanish that I don't understand. Um, it says, I mean, the direct translation. It's not in Spanish. It's in Portuguese. I'm sorry. It says admin first. One of the one that starts with Ray and ends with Man Legends. So Rayman Legends possibly may having a Switch edition.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens there. But this image clearly shows a Switch 2, Ubisoft Brazil, and it's got the gold check mark and it has the Ubisoft logo. So it's an official account showing, and not screenshots, but like key art for Rainbow Six Siege and Mirage and Shadows alongside Star Wars Outlaws.
I I wonder would they port Watchdog 2 and Watchdog Legions. Um,
I don't know. I'm of the mind that franchise is done. I would assume they would be more Assassin's Creed or Far Cry games, to be honest. I think
yeah,
I think Far Cry, what recent
Far
Far
Cry,
Cry games are shoe-ins.
like a Far Cry 6 Definitive Edition with everything. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. But I mean, I wouldn't pass up the. I mean, because we only got Watch Dogs on Wii U, and that was a low key release. Um,
Mm-hmm.
with the game coming out, and even the
I'm aware. I bought it.
physical
We
version.
we covered it on one of the very first episodes of Pow Block,
Yeah.
and I
So
bought it for some reason.
so I mean, I would love for them to do like maybe a definitive version of Watch Dogs 2 because the Watch Dogs 2 was really good. And I think a lot of people on the Nintendo side didn't get to play the game unless they had a PlayStation or Xbox. And I think I mean, it wouldn't hurt to revisit, re-release that port,
Yeah,
and release Watchdog Legion, because
I think.
like, okay.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were
Oh
done.
no, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think some of these. I wonder if some of these third parties are just gonna start, kind of the way they did with Xbox One and PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of port definitive editions of their back catalog over just to have them on the store at some point. Not that they need to make a big marketing push behind it or anything. Just, hey, these games are available here if you want to play them now. Uh, you can play it on the go. I'm not sure how big of a waste of money that would be, but I think if you started porting Assassin's Creed over, even from like everything from 2 to Rogue, I think is on Switch 1.
Yeah,
So like you could port everything from Unity up through Shadows over, right? And kind of just say, hey, these are available on Switch 2 now. You can take them on the go with you. So I don't know. I would I would rebuy them all because I'm a lunatic.
yeah,
And I'm just trying to get. I don't know, man. The way Xbox is going, I'm like hesitant to buy anything on Xbox, and I don't care for PlayStation that much, so I don't want to buy games there. Uh, I don't know. I'm weird, I know, but whatever. But I could see Far Cry, Rayman. Man, you really want to do another definitive edition of that, or would you just you should just make a third one?
dude, just make a new game. and everything.
Side tangent. I didn't put this in the news. Speaking of Ubisoft, but did you see that supposedly they're teasing a second Prince of Persia game, even though they shut that studio down?
No.
Yeah, apparently 2 million people have played it, uh, and they've been tweeting a lot about the number two, and people are starting to write articles about Ubisoft hints at second Prince of Persia game after hitting major milestone. I'm like, I think you guys are you can probably chalk that up there with Beyond Good and Evil too, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just something I saw. I didn't put it in the news because I didn't really think it was super newsworthy, but since we're talking about Ubisoft, maybe it's you know. I don't know. The other two games, something tells me one of them is a Rayman or is a Mario Rabbids definitive edition of the second game.
Yeah. Or a 2-pack or
Yeah,
something.
something along those lines. I don't know.
What if Switch 2 becomes like the leading announcement or not announcement but like kind of showing off good uh Beyond Good and Evil 2. Like they used like Ubisoft used that Nintendo platform to be like, we got one more game coming and it's that, and it'd be like, okay, we finally have a date, we finally have more information.
Good. Those 14 people who are looking forward to that game will finally have it.
Hey, they did it with Shenmue, so
Yeah, and guess what? Those 14 people who really love Shenmue really enjoyed that game, and everybody else hated it. So there you go. I don't know, man. Someone's got to convince me why Good and Evil 2 or Good and Evil 1 is an amazing game. It's fine. It's not bad by any stretch, but like I don't understand like I don't know, man. A lot of games that like a lot of these cult games that people like quote unquote rally behind now, revisionist history or what have you, like the only game I ever think about is Mirror's Edge, right? And everybody wanted a sequel, everybody wanted another game. They put one out and nobody bought it. So like, did you really want it? So like every time one of these games pops up, these like smaller games that, a certain crowd love, right? Do you really want it?
A game of its era, a game of its time.
Sure. True. But also Ubisoft obviously didn't think much of it because they put it on the same day as Prince of Persia. So, and Prince of Persia, in my opinion, much better game. But
yes,
we'll see where that remake is. Where's that remake? Maybe that remake's coming. Maybe that's one of the 6 games. Sands of Time.
I think they're working on it.
I know they are. I'm just messing around. But as someone who really likes Ubisoft games in general, I welcome all of these over there because most of my time at this point is in handheld mode of certain things. So,
yes.
All right, let's. By the way, speaking of Ubisoft, for some reason, that there was like a massive Ubisoft sale on Xbox, and I ended up getting like the ultimate editions of a bunch of Ubisoft games, like upgrades that I already owned for like $2 and $3 a piece. That nice. Like I don't know if I'll ever play them, but like if I'm going to, I might as well have all the content for an extra, $2 to $3.50. Like the Division 2, which is something I've kind of wanted to go back to at some point, but like who's going to play it with me, and do I really want to play it? And Ghost Recon Breakpoint was something I bought for like $8 like 3 or 4 years ago because
I still haven't finished that game.
Well, like I know a lot of people had issues with it at one point, and then they put a lot of work into it to fix it, and I was like, dude, it's $8. If it's if I don't like it, I spent $8 on it, whatever.
It's almost like a brand new game.
But then like they were like suggestions for you, and it said you can upgrade your Ghost Recon Breakpoint to the Ultimate Edition for $2. I was like, okay, so now if I don't like the game, I spent $10. Okay. I'll That's like not eating lunch one day. Oh no. Uh, anyways, uh, we'll move on. I just excited to see more Ubisoft games come over.
Yes.
All right, Ed, let's get into the bad news. Um, not not really looking forward to this. Storied gaming outlet. Giant Bomb's future is uncertain as fandom is restructuring its gaming outlets. Um, Giant Bomb's future is uncertain following significant staff departures and strategic realignment by the parent company Fandom. Longtime contributors Jeff Grubb and Dan Reichert have exited the site, citing disagreements with the new content restrictions and brand guidelines imposed by Fandom. The 888th episode of the Giant Bombcast was removed from hosts after hosts mocked these changes. Live streaming has been paused, and Fandom states that this is part of a broader reset, with plans to share more about the site's future soon. It's worth noting that they also own GameSpot, which I think a lot of people thought after like Vinny Caravella and Brad Shoemaker, and then later Jeff Gerstmann all exited the company, that Giant Bomb would probably be merged with GameSpot at some point. And it wouldn't shock me if this would happen here too. It's sad. And if they shut the brand down completely, it crossed my mind, which I'm sure it did a lot of longtime Giant Bomb fans, if Jeff Gerstmann would end up just buying the brand back from them at some cost, because obviously he's the founder of the brand with, the Ryan Davis, who passed away, quite a while ago at this point. But, I know that the way that company was handled, he didn't care for, but I'm sure there's a lot of sentimental value to that brand for him or anybody that was involved in the early days. And I'm sure when he exited the company, we'll say, his severance was pretty big, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It crossed my mind, but Giant Bomb isn't what it used to be, man. I used to like really love Giant Bomb, and I mean I still listened on, because it's just like and I still enjoy Dan Reichert and Jeff Grubb and Jan over there. Like they're all kind of, and a lot of that crew is still really great, but I think people would be kidding themselves if it wasn't what drew a lot of people in the first place. And so it's sad. But like I said before, I think someone like Jeff Grubb and Dan Reichert could make a lot of money on their own at this point.
Oh yeah,
doing this on their own, or
Min-Max is a perfect example.
Mm-hmm. I could see Dan Reichert going to Min-Max, actually, now that you say that.
I do it.
I mean, him and Ben Hansen have been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
So, and Jeff Grubb has a big enough following to where, like, he'll probably be picked up by another outlet because he's also a great insider to have on your team, right?
Yeah.
I could see someone like The Verge for picking him up.
I do wonder what content restrictions were in play. They were going to try to place on.
I mean, probably the basic. Don't talk about the company. Don't talk bad about companies that we have relationships with.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of standard things, right? But I don't know. Man. It's weird. And then the other thing with this is Polygon got sold, and there's like massive layoffs there now too.
Yeah, they vowed something, and they were just like, I guess there was drama over there.
Mm-hmm.
not Polygon, but the people that they sold to. I think they got a
Valorant.
history of, yeah, they got a history of drama and
Hmm.
everything.
Yeah. And they own Screen Rant, Game Rant, stuff like that. Uh, so I think we're in an age of these legacy sites, at least, not
Mm-hmm.
like the. I think IGN and GameSpot will always be around in some capacity because they've been around long enough to where they are just the names you look at and say that's you know at least for
Yeah.
someone who has been on the internet as long as we have at our age, like understanding it and stuff. Like I don't think those brands will ever truly go away.
Oh no.
But like that second wave of internet based gaming content, like you know, Polygon and things like Kotaku and Giant Bomb and even something like CNET to an extent, right? Like they're just gonna start combining things and merging things, and some of these brands are gonna go away. It kind of reminds me of when IGN bought One Up, right? And then they just kind of merged everybody into the same company,
Yeah.
right?
And
Um,
then most of all the one up is gone now.
yeah. Well, a lot of them are doing second one now, right? Like, well, not a lot of them, but like a few of them, right? Like,
Um, only only one of them. Uh, because everybody at Retronauts, Jeremy Parrish, and them, they're
mhm,
doing their own thing. Um, and then like Dan Shu and like Tina Brian Intihar is at Insomniac.
mhm,
Um, Shane Butenhausen, he's at Sony PlayStation. So like a lot of the writers in there went out and did their own thing. Kara Chu um, has Good Job Brain and everything. So yeah, I don't know if there's a person named Tina. She was at Activision for Call of Duty. I don't know if she's still there or not. Um, but yeah, a lot of the one up folks, they just went out and did their own thing.
mhm.
Some are in the industry still to this day. Some are just at other places.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just I just think some of these legacy brands aren't just there's a lot of people doing this now, right? And like influencers
mhm.
and YouTubers and streamers and like that's the new wave of people, right? Because they're, companies want to work with them because A, they're cheaper to work with, and B, they'll kind of a lot of them will say whatever you want like the companies want them to say about the game, right? Because they're
They're
giving them
paying
free
them.
stuff, they're paying them a little bit, like they're doing sponsored streams, they're, and which is a lot of the reason why, I don't like to take that approach to working with companies, right? Is like I don't want to feel like I have to say something to play your game.
Right. There's something about control content where it's different with Nintendo and everybody else. Nintendo, they know how to control their content and get the message out. They'll do it on their own time. A lot of these other companies, they know if they see nowadays a big influencer, or if they see, with these preview builds and everything, if that preview build that they could get out makes a good impression on the reader, uh, they that may lead into sales and stuff. So that's why with a lot of streamers and everything, when they're streaming their content from that developer, they said, "Hey, this is a like a promotion, a paid promotion, or this is something with me partnering up with this developer, and I'm showing off the game and stuff." And they gotta keep it positive and not negative. So that stuff like that content gets control. Where in a contract you can't say bad things about it. You know, the only time you can actually say something about a game as a streamer is when the game is out and you fully purchased it yourself and you give a honest opinion about it.
Yeah.
I think that's why when we talk about that content like that, um, you know, that's subjective or objective or anything. Um, we always, even here at Boss Rush, we always want to be fair with the content that we provide, whether it's
Hmm.
news, whether it's our opinions or text or something. We want to be honest, but we want to be fair. There is a time where we may tear some things down, but that's a person that becomes a personal thing, and uh it's a personal thing because you're feeling a certain way about a game, and sometimes for some people you feel like it could have been so much better.
Yeah. So it's sad. Um, I mean, Giant, especially something like Giant Bomb is a lot of the reason why I do this, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not the only reason, but a lot of the reason. And
That was me with One Up at EGM.
mhm.
Like when they created the space to write, my writing might not have been good, but it was my passion about writing about games again to talk about them and listen to the podcast and stuff. Um, because that's part of who I am as a person.
Yeah. So I hope this gets figured out in the most positive way possible.
Yes.
Not expecting it to be handled well, honestly. So I hope everybody that's affected by this finds something and is able to continue doing something that they love.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, Ed. Another kind of I don't know. Well, the next two stories they're not bad by any stretch, but still things shutting down, things being people being sued, whatever. People leaving. So, remember the weird 3DS tour of the Louvre that they put out on these like
Yes.
special 3DSs that you could rent there and that would,
Yes.
have all kinds of information on the piece and everything. They are finally the Louvre in Paris is finally taking down their 3DS tour after 13 years. They're retiring its 3DS audio guides in September, ending a 13-year collaboration with Nintendo. 3DS guides were introduced in 2012, offering visitors over 600 images, 30 hours of audio commentary, and more than 400 3D reconstructions of the museum and its rooms. A new system will replace the 3DS guides, though, uh, but the details of that have not been disclosed. I wonder if there's going to be a Switch 2 kind of equivalent or
Just
Switch
like the
1
regular
or
Switch.
something.
Yeah, that's all I was thinking.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably do it on both, right? Like if Nintendo has leftover Switch 1 units and this runs on both, right? You might as well just use the Switch 1 units at this point, but or Switch Lights even if you're going to carry them around. You don't want people carrying around Joy-Cons, right? So
Yeah.
uh that was a cool thing that they did. That was an interesting. We all thought that was going to be like the future of like tourism and uh you know uh, kind of I can't get out, I can't afford to go there, but it's really cool that this is available here type thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if there's anything else really like it. I know some VR things have tried to do certain things, and franchises like Assassin's Creed have done a really good job of doing their like educational journeys through the worlds that they build, right? But
Yes.
nothing quite like this. So I don't know. I don't know if you have anything to say about this, but it's uh it's
It's
sad to see it go. I hope it's archived somewhere, honestly.
yeah. It's funny that you mentioned France and stuff because I was thinking of um the cathedral uh that got burned down. and they used the design plans from
Oh, Notre Dame. Yeah.
Sesame, yeah, Notre Dame to build it up. I know it's back open now.
Hmm.
I wonder if has anyone like did a comparison, like showing the game and showing the new place yet.
Well, Ubisoft had blueprints of the building, right, to
Yeah,
reconstruct it. That's how they got it. That's how they got. And Ubisoft became heavily involved in that reconstruction at some point because they have the blueprints to the building. So, yeah.
that's yeah. So that's what that makes me think of. But for the story, no, not really. And 13 years is not bad. That's good.
Especially on the 3DS, man. Like
Yeah.
3DS has been dead for a long time. Uh, so yeah. All right. Let's move along then. Nintendo. Shocking, Ed. Nintendo is suing the accessory maker Genki for leaking the Switch 2 earlier this year at CES through their 3D printed models. I knew this was coming at some point. I'm shocked it didn't happen earlier. Nintendo's legal team reportedly confronted Genki at CES 2025 over its display of Switch 2 replica, which was allegedly modeled after a real unit acquired through unofficial channels. While no formal lawsuit has been filed yet, the incident underscores Nintendo's proactive approach to protecting its intellectual property. Nintendo has initiated legal action against the company, and so Nintendo's ongoing efforts to combat unauthorized use and distribution of its products is still going on, which I knew this was happening, right? Like,
Did they take a license away?
no, because their case is still coming out. It's $45. It also charges your Switch in sleep mode. It's a really
Oh.
nice case, actually. I wanted to buy it. uh, but yeah, I think that they were really stupid to do that. You know, I wonder if some of these companies do that on purpose because they think that they're like the lawsuit against Nintendo or settling outside of court will benefit
Mm,
them in the like it'll hit them in the short term but benefit them in the mid to long term to sell more accessories to make more money, right? Because their name is out there.
yeah.
It kind of seems like they think it's an easy way to get their name out there.
I
Oh
I
boy.
I would have thought they would have lost their license.
Yeah. I don't know. It's also, man, what a dumb decision. What a stupid decision. They man. I don't know why you would think that was a good idea, you know? Like why would you think that's a good idea at this point?
Because it's good for them for business, like you said.
Man, what a what a dumb idea. I don't really have anything else to say about this. It's just,
It was
I knew
dumb.
I knew this was coming eventually. I thought it would have happened earlier, but it's dumb. Uh oh, Ed,
Yes.
breaking news, sort of. The GameCube controller, Nintendo's sending out early invitations to NSO members starting on May 8th.
Mm,
And pre-orders will officially go live to NSO members on May 13th, according to Nintendo Life.
mm.
Um, let me bring this up, actually, now that I say that.
And I would be at PAX.
Um, let's see. Here we go. This is on Nintendo Life. Switch 2 GameCube controller early purchase goes live in North America. Um, let's see here. Alongside the Switch 2 release, Nintendo is adding GameCube library to Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. If you want to experience this library of games the most authentic way possible, outside of the real thing, you're going to want this controller. It looks like the original GameCube controller, but also contains wireless capabilities and includes additional buttons like the C button, as seen on Switch 2 controllers. These purple controllers, once again, will release on June 5th, the same day as the Switch 2. And Nintendo has now confirmed the dates you'll be able to buy them if you're based in North America. Early purchase access invitation recipients will be able to pick them. Up between May 8th and May 12th. And starting on May 13th, these controllers will be open to, quote, paid Nintendo Switch Online membership holders. They will set you back $64.99 USD or $84.99 Canadian. There is a limit of one controller purchase per Nintendo account, at least at launch. So
It is so funny that the price of the controller is only about $35 less than the GameCube itself after it was out for some time. Because
yeah,
the GameCube had dropped to $99.99. I was definitely snagged that up at that price. Crazy price for a console like that, and with this huge library.
yeah. I mean, I remember the GameCube controllers being like the most expensive controller on the market at the time, and they were like $30. I was like, oh
Yeah,
my gosh, man, you could
then the
buy it.
Waybird.
Yeah, the Wavebird was 40. Man, what a time! You could buy two Wavebirds for the price of one DualShock or
Exactly.
DualSense 5 or whatever they are.
I
Yeah.
remember getting the Xbox S cheap, like the S controller.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, them mugs, they couldn't get rid of that for nothing. I was getting like buying that one for like $25.
Yep. Crazy times. So yeah, if you're an NSO member, keep an eye out for your email starting on the 8th. So
Is
I
it?
hope I
I
get
wonder
one.
it. Is it random?
I don't know.
Sure enough, if I see one in my if I see it in my inbox, yeah, I'm getting one.
It doesn't say anything about who gets what. Here, let me go to Nintendo's website because they have information there. I lied. They do not have information here. It's just, yeah. Huh. Interesting. All right. Well, never mind. So look out for your email inboxes if you're an NSO member. Maybe you'll get an invitation.
Yeah.
I will be really trying to get one of these.
Same.
I would really like to have two at some point, but all right, Ed, let's move on.
What?
Our final story of the day, Ed. We kind of talked about this earlier at some point this year, but it has been confirmed. Platinum Games designer Takahisa Tora has officially left the company and started his own studio called Eel Game Studio, as confirmed by a recent Famitsu interview. While details about the new studio remain under wraps, Tara's departure had been widely speculated following changes in his social media profiles, such as LinkedIn. His exit follows closely behind Hideki Kamiya, who also left Platinum Games to form the new Capcom-backed studio Clovers, fueling online speculation about the future of key talent at Platinum Games. Man, Platinum Games falling apart.
Well,
That's 5 key departures in the last year.
well, but I think like for some of them, probably like Kamiya, like
Mm-hmm.
he he wasn't directing anything besides the shoot 'em up game.
Right, but he's
I,
still like producing, you know.
yeah, he's still producing, but I
So
think. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the reason why this is a big deal. So, just in case you don't know, Takahisa Tora was the director of Astral Chain, and he was the lead designer on Nier Automata. So
Hmm.
that's why it's a big deal, I think, especially the Nier Automata part, because I mean, people love that game, right?
Yeah,
Including me. So, uh,
I think I think once we see how Ninja Gaiden 4 does, I don't think there's nothing that we need to worry about with Platinum Games and finding new directors and uh, producers and stuff like that. Um, because pretty much everybody, don't forget, Platinum Games is like kind of a work for a higher company, and uh, they still have a great relationship with Nintendo. Their next project is probably going to be after Ninja Gaiden 4 is out because you know
mhm.
Koei Tecmo is paying for that.
Yeah. And I'm sure that because Koei Tecmo is in on that, they probably have their own producers and directors involved, right? It's just
Hmm.
studio designing and making the game, which is normal when studios partner up, right? Like when Ubisoft
Yeah,
partners with Nintendo, they have their own Nintendo's producers and directors on the project, even though
yeah,
you know. But yeah, I don't know.
and
Is kind of this is interesting because Nintendo obviously owns Astral Chain, right? Like that's
yes,
I- I'm kind of like, man, some of these game sequels I was kind of looking forward to are kind of like
up in
I don't
the
know.
air.
Yeah, like an Astral Chain sequel would if you put that out within the first 6 months, a year of the Switch 2 launch, that game would do massive numbers because it's a, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I feel
and
like that game
I,
would be huge.
and I'm not surprised if Nintendo don't have a contract with Platinum Games to make it two, or they're working on something for the future. I think they're in right now. It seems like they're on a one-to-one game basis. So I think once Ninja Gaiden 4 comes out, like I said, they'll probably be thinking of things for Astral Chain. You know,
Hmm.
because they also, I'm like, this is a new console for them, so they gonna have to learn the system. Like Platinum Games, I believe, did Platinum Games do anything for Series X besides Near Automata? But that would have been a port.
Hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't. I think because they're learning, they probably are learning Series X and PlayStation 4, um, because of Ninja Gaiden 4. So I wouldn't be surprised if they took the time to learn um, the Switch 2 and put out Astral Chain 2
Hmm.
or and Bayonetta 4 and stuff like that.
Hmm.
While also partnering up with Nintendo to probably make another game, you know.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's sad. I don't like seeing this studio fall apart because I think a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people really, you know, enjoy their games, obviously, but
Everybody will wonder what happened. What's the rise and fall of Platinum Games? Like, what happened to them? It's be like that. I can't give an answer
mhm,
until we see if their doors ever close and stuff.
mhm. Man, I hope uh I hope this doesn't spell bad news in a year for Platinum, but
Right.
we'll see. I mean, it probably depends on the projects they have in the works. It probably depends on, the work they get, similar to uh Ninja Gaiden 4, right? If the other studios have them working on things, so to keep the
Mm-hmm.
lights on. Um and that's why I that's why I think people haven't purchased them either, is right, like they keep working on other people's projects. They don't have anything of their own. Uh, so I think that's why they're kind of still out there available to purchase.
I mean, yeah, I think they have one game on their own, but for
I
most
mean,
of the games that
they have things on their own, right? But the things that they
yeah,
work on that are popular are.
are licensed in other
Mhm,
companies' IP. Because,
right.
like I said, they're a work for hire company
Hmm.
and everything. So, like, they can't develop and publish their own games. They need the finances for other companies to help them be run afloat.
Yeah. So, but that's it, Ed. That's all the news. That's all we got.
All right,
So let's head into our next segment that we like to call Pack Watch.
Packwatch.
These are the games that you could be playing on your Nintendo Switch soon, this week, actually. Soon we're going to be including Nintendo Switch 2 games in this list, Ed, and that's going to be exciting.
Mm.
There are two kind of major releases this week, or maybe not. Maybe major is the wrong term, but uh, games to keep your eye on this week. High on Life is coming on May 6th. Humanity is being threatened by an alien cartel who wants to use them as drugs. It is up to you to rescue and partner with charismatic talking guns, taking down Garmantuous and his gang and save the world. So that is coming out on May 6th. And then on May 8th, I know people are kind of looking forward to this game. Duck Detective: The Ghost of Glamping. You
Mm.
are the one and only Duck Detective, a depressed and recently divorced duck who must quack the case. I see what you did there. Inspect evidence, make deductions, and solve this no murder mystery. And of course, you can find your slew of AI garbage on the eShop as well. Although, did you see Nintendo is starting to remove some of that stuff?
I heard, but haven't read the story yet.
Yeah, they've removed it 100% from their top selling games list. They are starting to remove things from the eShop specifically. So took you long enough, Nintendo, but um, yeah. I mean, so PlayStation started doing it about 6 months ago.
Yeah. Uh, so Corey, there is one more that
No, there's not.
I want to add.
No, there's not.
Um, so there's a game called Strings Theory.
Nope. It's
It's
fake
coming
games.
out.
Fake news.
It's coming out May 8th. For Nintendo Switch and Xbox, they confirmed it. They have a demo of it on Xbox, but they're going to be at PAX East. So I'm gonna play the demo and then try to get in touch with them, get an appointment with them to talk about their game, and congratulate them on a release of that game. Um, but yeah, they just announced that it's coming to Nintendo Switch and that it's releasing on May 8th. So I'm excited about that.
Huh. All right. Well, why don't we get into these updates and expansions and things like that.
Yes.
So Nintendo this week updated the Nintendo Switch to version 20.0.0, which added virtual game cards, game share, and Switch and Switch 2 transfers. Nintendo has since released Switch System Update 20.0.1 to address the error code 2206-1015, which affected some users after installing version 20.0.0. The fix requires updating the console in maintenance mode.
Wow.
I didn't turn my Switch on until today after the version 20.00 came out.
Yeah.
So like it automatically just updated to 20.0.1.
which
so
I
I
had to
didn't have
do,
this issue.
today. Then.
Yeah. Uh, Konami has released version 1.0.3 of Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster, focusing on bug fixes and minor improvements. For both games, this update addresses various issues to enhance gameplay stability and performance.
Mm-hmm.
Astral Sense version 2.0 update and the Outer Reaches DLC are launching on PC today and coming to Switch in a week, doubling the game's content with new worlds, enemies, and a magic system.
A game
Uh,
that I have, but I need to like reinstall and play.
yeah. Also, Ed, big news. Big news. Disney Dreamlight Valley has a new update.
Yes.
It is the let's see, what is the update called? Hold on. It's Alice in Wonderland themed. I know that.
Ah, nice.
Also, there Star Wars is finally in Disney Dreamlight Valley. This is the Wonders in Wonderland update. The Star Path is Alice in Wonderland themed. The Star Wars assets are in the paid store, so you have to buy them. You cannot earn them. It is not part of the Star Path. It seems that the Alice in Wonderland stuff is in the Star Path is a mix of the animated and the live action movies. So take that as you will. Maybe I'll start playing that again while I'm waiting for Switch 2. I'm in my in between time right now. So that's the update. I'm not a huge Alice in Wonderland person, but all right. Here's the where did it go? Venture to a magical realm and meet Alice and the Cheshire Cat in Disney Dreamlight Valley's new free update, Wonderland Whimsy. It is available now. So yeah, I actually think the costumes that you get in this are pretty cool, and the Mad Tea Party ride from Disney World and Disneyland is in there that you can kind of use as a prop. So great. But that's it for expansions and updates. Nintendo Switch Online updates. There are no new games, but there are free trials of Star Wars Bounty Hunter and Star Wars Jedi Power Battles running through May 6th, so you can check those out. And then Mario Kart 7, the 3DS Mario Kart game, was added to Nintendo Music with 66 total tracks.
Nice.
They also updated the app to where there are a lot of major extensions to a lot of the music, so you can check that out there as well. So yeah, that is your Pack Watch segment of the week.
Yeah, Pack Watch.
Let's get into question block, Ed.
Question block.
Remember, if you have any questions, topics, comments, or thoughts, or concerns, or whatever, you can leave them for us in our Discord. If you're watching live, you can leave them in the comments, and we will read the ones that are good. And you can always join the Discord, leave them in the question block channel under Nintendo Pow Block, or leave them on the latest YouTube video. You can also look for the thread on Patreon, our free Patreon thread. You can leave them there as well. Our first question, Ed, comes from Sam Hall. Sam says, "Hey guys, wondering how you all are feeling now that we're only a few weeks away from the Switch 2 launch. How are you feeling about everything? What are you most excited for on launch day? Looking forward to your answers."
So mine's gonna be quick, Ray.
Lies.
I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling excited for the launch. What I'm most excited about is seeing people's reactions to getting the games. People going to the midnight release. talking about the system, having fun with it. That's what I'm excited for. Um, I'm not getting. I'm planning on not getting the system until July. That is my plan to get it then. Um, but I'm super excited to see what people think when they have the system in their hands.
Hmm.
Um, that's my answer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited just to see it and have it in my hands and see what this new Mario Kart game's about, and
Hmm.
kind of having a Nintendo system that's going to allow us to play most kind of modern games, to be honest. I think I would have been a one console, one ecosystem type of person a long time ago if we could have gotten that at some point
Yes.
earlier. But I think Nintendo is kind of threading that needle between uh you know a way, like a I don't know. I think they're right. They're releasing this at the right time, right? Where like developing games needs to be games need to be on as many consoles and as many platforms as it possibly can these days, because of the budgets, because of just how they're made and everything, right? But like, they're gonna. I think I think these games being released on Nintendo Switch 2 are going to allow these companies to maybe aim for a lower common ground in a sense, right? Like and then, kind of scale upwards instead of trying to scale these things down.
Yes.
Uh so I wonder how long this quote unquote major third party stuff is going to last. I imagine it's going to last quite a while, considering people, companies kind of risked a lot to port huge games to the Switch 1, like The
Hmm.
Witcher and the Doom games and Wolfenstein 2. And, those are the games I always think of when people are like, man, they can't put that on Switch. And I'm like looking at those games, I'm like, but you can. Look what they did. They put The Witcher 3 on a 32 gig cart. I'm
Right.
like, I don't even understand how they did that, considering how large that game is on Xbox Series X.
And
But
sold out of the game.
I'm just like, man, this game is it's a wonder. And like, again, I've said this a thousand times already, but like, obviously Doom Eternal, Wolfenstein 2, the Switch is not the optimal place to be playing that game, right? It's
Right.
not. I don't think anybody will argue that. But man, those games worked on that system and it was impressive. It was impressive that those games ran on the Switch too. And so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how Microsoft and Xbox and Bethesda in general kind of handle their games on the Switch too. And I'm wondering if we're going to see, like, there are a couple games I'm actually specifically looking forward to from Microsoft, that they, or not from Microsoft, but
Hmm.
well, some are, but some aren't. So South of Midnight is a game that I've been like itching to play, right? And I've been looking at it on Game Pass, and I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of waiting until after the Xbox Summer Showcase, because I want to see if Xbox announces anything for Switch 2, right? Like, I would love to see something like South of Midnight make its way over, because I think that game would do great over there. And Hi-Fi Rush obviously is another one, but like, another game I really want to look forward to that Microsoft was heavily involved in marketing, it's Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
Yes.
I want to know if they're going to bring that over, because I will buy that game there and play it there if they do. You know,
I wouldn't be surprised if they.
I can't imagine them not bringing it
No.
over with the success of that game. Why wouldn't
Yeah.
Nintendo want that on their platform?
Yeah.
Or at least have that developer. What is it? Sandfall, right? That's the
Hmm.
studio.
Yes.
Like, I can't imagine them not wanting that game on Switch, considering how well JRPGs do there in general, or you know that type of game does there in general. So, man, I'm so interested to see how companies support the Switch 2 just because of how powerful it is. Like
Right.
I'm buying Cyberpunk on Switch 2 because I'm so curious to see like
How the game runs.
because that game, and I know like the way the Switch is built is much different than PS4 and Xbox One, right? Obviously, but like
Yes.
I mean that game, the PlayStation took it off the store because it ran so bad,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
The game was optimized for those systems.
I am so interested, and I'm like half tempted to buy it physically because they put the whole game on the cart. The whole game and the DLC are on the cartridge. And then you look at something like Sonic X Shadows Generation, which is like a key card, essentially, right? And
Right.
it's like, man, and that brings up the point of like, I think CD Projekt Red, as bad as the launch was for Cyberpunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do think a lot of those, like at least the engineering team in general, likes a challenge. And I think porting these big games down to, like less powerful platforms, they like the challenge of doing that.
Oh yeah.
And so like they Nintendo released they've been releasing these really great videos from third parties on their YouTube channel. I don't know if you've been watching them, but the Developer Voices
Yeah.
series,
I've been watching it.
and they put Cyberpunk on there and Hogwarts Legacy on there, which are two games I really want to buy too when they come out. I want to see how Hogwarts Legacy runs compared to the Switch 1 version. By the way, fun fact, different version, so I'm gonna have to pay $70 to play that version.
Yep.
But I'll be stupid and end up doing it anyway because I really love that game. So, but I'm interested to see how, like in Final Fantasy VII remake, right? It's really fascinating to see how these games run on there. I'm interested to see how Borderlands 4 runs on there.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
I'll play Borderlands 4 on the Switch too.
See how many people care about Borderlands 4.
I mean,
it looks impressive. It looks impressive.
I think Borderlands will sell. Borderlands always sells initially, and it always has a long tail because it's one of those games that after a year it goes on sale for like $20 and people buy it and play the crap out of it for like, whatever, 40 hours, and then it'll be like, hey, yeah, sure, that was fun. You can say what you will about the writing and the characters are dumb and whatever, but like the gunplay is fun and the loot stuff is fun, right?
Yes.
Like that's the hook. So
that I agree.
So just answering this question. The sad thing is like I've spent so much time with my Switch. I'm gonna be really sad when I have to put it away at some point. Right? Like I'm just like, I don't know. It's gonna be really sad to put that thing away. I usually don't care about that stuff, but I think at least the last year or so, it's been different because my kids are really into it now, and they're like really looking forward to Switch 2, which is fun to watch them be excited for. Obviously we talked about this at the top of the show, but they love Mario Party, and they're like really excited for the camera based games through that update. My daughter's like really excited for Donkey Kong for some reason. Like, I don't know why she's excited for Donkey Kong, but she is so excited for Donkey Kong, and they're both really excited for Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So like the excitement is hitting different than it did when the Switch 1 came out. Because I didn't have kids when the Switch 1 came out, which is so weird to think about.
2017. Wow, that is true. Yeah.
I mean, I remember when my daughter was born, it came out on the same day as Captain Toad and Octopath Traveler. And so I had my parents go pick it up from GameStop for me. Because like
true gaming dedication.
It's just like all this console has been through. My life has changed so much since this console has come out. right? And like
Yes.
I think it means the most because with the Wii U, right? Like in the Wii to an extent, I love those things, but like there's a lot of like negative life events that happened within those generations that just like with this one, like I got, I was on my honeymoon when the Switch 2 was announced, right? So I just got or the Switch 1 was announced, so I was on my honeymoon, right? And we ended up messaging each other through Facebook Messenger of all places at that time about it,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know, so that was like a happy memory. And then when it launched was a happy memory because it was the last time I went to a store to pre-order a console and like pick up games and um
It
and then
was the
obviously
first time.
everything else.
It was the first time I put that system on layaway and got it. I've
Yeah,
never
it's
put a
like
console on layaway.
a lightweight. um there's just a lot of really positive memories with the Switch 1 and life in general that it's like
Yeah.
really sad to like put this thing to bed at some point. Although I'll probably leave it out for a little bit on this second TV over here just because like I don't know, my kids will probably play it at some point and I don't know, it'll be an easy thing to throw YouTube on, uh have Hulu on in the background.
That's the thing, having it carrying that one for like the social apps, or I mean like the TV apps like YouTube, Crunchyroll, Hulu, Twitch, all of that.
Yeah. Um but yeah, I just I put away a lot of the Switch 1 stuff already. Like my extra Joy-Cons I put away. I left my Pro controllers and the NSL controllers out, obviously, because they work with Switch 2. But
Mm-hmm.
some of my extra cases and some, a bunch of other things. I just started really packing things away for Switch 1, and I'm like, man, putting this stuff away, like it's an end of an era to an extent, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I was upset when I put the Wii U away, and then I got it back out. But uh but then like you turn it on and like how slow it is to boot up, how slow it is to load up games. Like once you're in the game, it's fine, but like, oh my gosh, you gotta sit there and watch the Wii U logo on the screen and hear the beeping and wonder if it's gonna load into the
Ooh.
plaza, right? And then you like pick the game finally on your tablet and you're like, okay, is it gonna load? And then it's just like right, and then like the hold screen for the game comes up and you're wondering if it's loading because you don't know if your Wii U is dying or not. And it just turns out it's really that slow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
man, the Wii U, I still have mine. The Wii U is still hooked up over here. I told you once Wind Waker and Twilight Princess come over to the Switch 2, yeah,
you pick it up.
I can put it away, but until then, my so sorry, I know I'm rambling on, but my my daughter like went through and changed her Switch profile icon today
Yeah.
to Zelda, the Wind Waker Zelda,
Uh-huh.
and she's like, "What game is this from?" I'm like, it's from a Zelda game called The Wind Waker. It's about like there's a bunch of islands and you sail on a boat." And she's like, "Can I play?" I'm like, "I don't know if you can play it by yourself, but maybe we can play it together at some point." And she like kind of wants to see it, you know.
Yeah.
I said maybe when Switch 2 comes out, we can play it because it is coming to NSO, but I would rather play the HD Wii U version. Just I want it in widescreen, and you know, I'm really annoyed that like that those games haven't come out yet. Like I can't believe how annoyed I am that those games haven't come out yet. The
but like
Switch.
the whole but like the whole series, almost the whole main series console stuff is out.
All the 3D games are out on Switch except for that.
Yeah.
Also in Twilight Princess, can you just put Link's crossbow training back in?
I
Oh, that was the
will.
other thing I got. I
Oh,
found the Link's
Crossbrush.
crossbow training for $5.
Dang.
So a complete in its little cardboard sleeve.
but not the gun stuff.
No, not the gun.
Okay.
I don't care about that. Anyways, our
Oh
next
wow.
our next question. uh Deshaun Malone writes in and says, "Hey y'all, what are you thinking with Nintendo year one for Switch 2? We got DK, Mario Kart, Metroid, and Pokemon, and that's before the summer of events and stuff. Do you anticipate it being as good as Switch One?" I don't know.
Yes.
That sounds pretty Switch One accurate to me.
Yeah. I. All the pre-orders are out. I think we talked about it last week, Corey. 6 to 8 million
Yeah.
pre-sales or for it without, which is a good start for that. Um, I think their year one is going to be strong. It's going to be depending on outside of the ports that we get. It's going to depend on what new IP or sequel IP that's going to be announced for the system.
Mhm.
If Nintendo might not be able to do the one game per month yet because we don't have a big list of it. I mean, yes, we got uh, you know, games coming out in July and then Donkey Kong in June. I mean, the game's coming out in June, Donkey Kong coming out in July. We're still waiting for Metroid, and then we gotta wait for some other first party games like Kirby Air Ride, or you know, maybe something from the next Mario game, or Legend of Zelda, or even Pokemon ZA. Like we still are waiting to see what is going to be that one game per month if Nintendo can reach that quota. If they can reach that idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I think the lineup they have right now is really good. You know,
Mm-hmm.
between like the Switch 2 updates to games, I think the Mario Party update is a smart one. I think the Kirby one is I think Forgotten Land is a game that people really liked uh in general. Plus Air
Yes.
Riders, right? I think people kind of forget that Air Riders is coming out.
And
Uh
then we got Dust Blood. Dust Blood is next year.
yeah. But Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, I think it's still going to kind of act as the uh, Breath of the Wild for this generation. I know people are disappointed that it's a Switch 1 game also, but like sometimes I think people forget that there are a lot of Wii U games that were on the Switch 1 that first year to fill out that lineup. I think it just is different because the Wii U didn't sell anything and the Switch 1 is like, you know, what it is. And then Pokemon Legends, I think, is a smart addition to have a Switch 2 version of. So that, I mean, that's 5 first party games right there, right?
Yeah.
Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong, um, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, whether or not you want to count those, Mario Kart or Mario Party, Jamboree, uh, Kirby Air Riders, Kirby Forgotten Land, Pokemon, and then obviously like say what you want about them, but like Welcome Tour and Drag X Drive, that's 10 first party games already, right? That have Switch 2
Mm-hmm.
versions or are Switch 2 games. And we haven't even had like a summer direct or know it's coming out this fall or, and then you have all that third party support, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, you look at third party support. I've already named a lot of them, but Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy, Borderlands, um, so that, I mean, that's, and
Star Wars
the list goes
Outlaws,
on.
stuff like
Hitman,
that.
all these games. So uh, I don't need to go through the whole list, but there's a lot of third party support too, especially at launch. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I I do think that the Switch 2 launch year will be just as exciting in terms of the software for me, at least. And plus, like GameCube, right? GameCube is a huge thing too to add. So,
Right. And people got to realize that this is just going to grow past this year.
mhm.
Even we
Yeah.
still
I
like.
mean, that's just the first 6 months, essentially.
Well, yeah, and I think the numbers. So, of course, the numbers for the Nintendo Direct are big. I'm coming back to the Nintendo Direct for this one is because I think more people are going to watch it to see what else y'all bringing to this console. What unexpected games or new IPs are y'all getting? Because like if From Software is supporting Nintendo like this, we could probably see more from them. And
hmm
so I mean, we got the and I'm just going kind of just Japan. We got the support from Sega, from Capcom, Party Konami with some more games, From Software. Sony might go through a third party to bring games to the system.
Well, they already are. Hot Shots Golf or Everybody's Golf, right? Like that's coming over.
Yeah,
And
but
Freedom More.
but
I mean, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, though. I'm just.
yeah.
Uh,
Um, so it's like we have so much more that's coming. It's going to just be exciting to see what do they have planned. Once after Metro Prime 4, like really pretty much after Dust Bloods in a sense, we
mhm,
won't know what is dropping. We're hoping for Dragon Quest 12. Um, the rumored Chrono Trigger remake that been hinted at. Like
mhm.
there's so much, and like Square Enix has been a big contributor, as big as Ubisoft for Switch One. So to continue that streak on Switch Two, yeah, that's just gonna make them even bigger.
Mhm.
And we still can't wait to see what the indies are going to bring. We're excited to see what Microsoft is going to bring. Like I think a lot of companies um are excited to bring a lot of games. Now how EA is going to play out, that's all up in the air. But if EA is a big supporter, we can start seeing the Battlefield games on Switch. To not counteract Call of Duty, but to like complement it, to be like, oh, that has a big player base. Let's go hop on. Let's get some Battlefield games on there because I'm like, if we could get crossplay, if we could get some sales and it run us great on Switch 2, then yeah, as EA as a company, we need to make sure that our games are on this console. Definitely if they're going to sell.
Mhm. Yeah. So I oh my gosh. This thing Nintendo posted today. Did you see the Mario Kart uh
Uh-uh.
the Mario Kart thing they posted?
No.
It's literally the penguin from Mario 64 because the penguin's a driver or like a racer now.
Yeah.
Falling off of an icy cliff
Oh wow. Where did they post it at?
11 hours ago.
On their Twitter page.
I see it on Facebook right now, which don't ask
Oh
me why I
wow.
opened Facebook, but yeah. Oh my gosh. That was funny. Okay. Um anyways, that's enough for me. That was just funny. Anyways, I'm done. Get me out of here. Uh
Uh, well, Corey, to follow up about your Genkai story, they have responded back. Genkai has responded.
yeah, I just
Uh,
saw that.
yeah, you may have seen that Nintendo recently filed a lawsuit against us. We're taking this seriously and working with legal counsel to respond thoughtfully. What we can say is this: Genkai has always been an independent company focused on building innovative gaming accessories for the community we love. We're proud of the work we've done, and we stand by the quality and originality of our products. While we can't comment in detail, we're continuing preparations to fulfill orders and showcase our newest products at PAX East this week. We're grateful for the overwhelming support we've received so far. We'll share more when we can, but for now, we're staying focused on doing what we do best: building gears for gamers. Team Geekeye.
We'll see how much longer they can stay in that. I mean, look, their case, their product is really like their Switch 2 case looks really great,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I don't know if that was just a person that worked there that did this, or if like the company approved what they did at CES, allegedly. I'll say so we don't get in trouble.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is that put like a really direct negative spotlight on them, which, you know, marketing is good. All publicity is good publicity if you can spin it correctly, right? Like, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But good luck to them to fight off Nintendo, because I'm probably sure you're going to lose. Uh, so
Well, Corey, how about we get into our final thoughts? Um,
yeah, do you
oh,
want me to go first, or do you want to go first, or
you go ahead. You go first.
I just I'm really excited for Switch 2, man. I'm looking at all the stuff, like, you know, I'm looking at the Zelda amiibo. I'm looking at, you know, an extra dock for recording stuff. I'm looking at all this other stuff. Just you know, I'm ready to play this console. I'm ready to see what's going on with it and how much better it is than the Switch 1, right? I mean, the Switch 1, the tech in it is ancient at this point. So I'm looking forward to like a modern Nintendo console, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to playing like Zelda and Xenoblade on it, honestly. I'm looking forward to Donkey Kong in July. Like, I think that game's going to be really interesting. Red Faction Gorilla. So yeah, I'm excited. I hope everybody out there is excited, and I hope we can provide some great Switch 2 content, as they say.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Well, well, for me, of course I'm excited for Switch 2. For me, I'm excited to be at PAX East again this year with friends. I'm super excited to. For me personally, as much as I'm excited to play the games, I'm so excited to do the interviews with these developers and talk to them because I had so much fun doing it last year. Um, it's been helpful to me to be able to get out and have these conversations and not be scared to talk to people, and definitely developers and learn about their games and have fun and have the interviews fun. So I'm super excited for that, because definitely when I get back, it's full on more Switch 2 news, about the system, about the games, what everybody knows, and are people gonna be in outfits? Are they gonna have their late night snack ready to go? Is the setup gonna be good? Like I'm super excited to know how people are planning to get their Switch 2 and the play, and like what's gonna be their first game that they play. Are they gonna transfer the system and update it? Or are they gonna get the seat and get the game and go to bed and stuff? Like there's so much stuff, and I think like once after PAX East happens and stuff, it's just gonna be all this Nintendo news. It has to be all this Nintendo news because by the time we only have about 4 weeks right now for the system to be released.
mm-hmm.
So like Nintendo is gonna be going headstrong, full on, dropping more news and showing off games and stuff. Um, and we here at Pow Block are going to be excited. Definitely, I'm going to be I'm probably going to be up, Corey, along with you. Just well, no, you're getting this shit to your house. That's right.
Yeah, but I'm going to be up
Uh,
most of that. What I think the June 5th is a Thursday. So I'm actually going
uh,
to see if I can take that Friday off too, because I will be wanting to do a bunch of stuff with it.
yeah, June 5th is that Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So a lot of people going to probably be off. I'll probably be working, but I'm like that Saturday. I'm like I'm going to be trying to hear a lot of people's thoughts and everything, and definitely talking to you, Corey, to hear what are your thoughts, how the games runs, and what is your experience with it. I'm super excited. But yeah, I'm just excited for. And another thing, one last thing, I'm sorry, for PAX East, this is kind of a vacation for me. I get to be away and like work, but do work for Boss Rush, like, and really enjoy my time doing it. Before I have to come back home into the real world and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This getaway is so much needed.
Yeah. I'm sad I'm not going to see everybody, but I hope everybody that's going has a great time. And, there's always West and other things going on throughout the year that I will hopefully get to go to and be at. So,
Yay. Same here. I'm excited for any like conventions that come here, any events that come here that I literally go to. I know I missed the Midwest Gaming Classic one, but um, yeah, I'm hoping to go to some events here and talk to people and stuff. But with that, everybody, thank you for watching or listening to this episode of Nintendo Pow Block. If you joined us live, follow or subscribe to the channel you're watching if you haven't done so already. If you're watching us on YouTube later, like the video and leave your comments with your thoughts on today's topics or leave one of your own we can discuss in a future episode. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, consider leaving us a 5-star rating and a review. You can support Boss Rush on Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Rush Network at a tier that's right for you. You can even follow us for free and gain access to our base shows on one feed. Thank you again for watching and or listening, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody. Woohoo!
if you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, Retro Stoy, and Christian S. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.